Hi, I'm Will from the Sustained Fire Warhammer 40,000 2nd Edition Gaming Club based in Brisbane, Australia. With my sister Charlotte making the long trip from the UK to visit me in Australia, lots of good times and fond memories were to be had. And what better memories are there to be had than a 40k 2nd Edition campaign? We decided to focus on my two largest armies, Ultramarines and Orks, and create a campaign based around some of our favourite nostalgic memories from our childhoods. We played 3 games in this campaign, all of which are available to read in PDF battle reports on the Sustained Fire Facebook page. Since I very much enjoyed making these, I decided to turn the first one into a video for your enjoyment. The campaign we made was strictly narrative based. We follow a few of the characters as the Ultramarines and Orks fight for control over the local sector. The first game format is played on my new 6x4 foot table, 1500 points per side. We agreed on no psychers for the first game to let us both get up to speed. The missions and strategy cards are all picked as random as normal. Since Charlotte has now returned home to the UK, I will be narrating both of the sides for this video. When I realised Will was going to be taking his Ork horde, I knew I was going to have to tailor my Ultramarine army to suit. First choice would be the Mighty Whirlwind. That 3-inch blast template is well suited to removing whole squads of Xenos filth. Following that up is the Dreadnought with the multi-melter. The great thing about the Space Marine Dreadnought's multi-melter is its dual use of being able to be used as a heavy flamer, a perfect antidote to swarms of Orks. A tactical squad and a jump pack equipped assault squad will add a good mix of punch and resilience. Space Marine's rapid fire special ability is great for mowing down Ork boys. The assault squad, supported by the Razorback, will allow me the maneuverability for taking objectives or quickly responding to immediate threats. Both squads are split into 2 combat squads to cover as much ground as possible. The mission I had drawn was Hold the Line. That will require me to hold the Orks from my side of the table. With careful deployment, I will be able to funnel the Orks into kill zones where their large numbers will hinder them, giving me the advantage. With Will drawing Assassin, I will need to take extra care of my captain. One of the tactical squads will need to act as his personal bodyguard. Makes me wish I'd splurged out on Terminator armor for him now. Before deploying, Will played his brilliant strategy card, forcing me to deploy first. That gives him a major advantage, as not knowing where his main force will be placed will make my kill zone strategy harder to plan for. This is going to be a tricky battle. The Orks are a fantastic army to field in 40k 2nd edition. The large troop numbers you are able to include means they are easy enough to adapt to any mission type. Their main drawback seems to be their complete lack of ability to hit a barn door. To rectify this, I've tried to add lots of templates and flamer weapons. The mission I had drawn was Assassin. My strategy was to use the large number of boys and grots to push up the centre of the field and distract from my real threat, the 2 bike squadrons. They will swing around the flank and seek out the Ultramarine captain. The war bikes should hopefully provide cover long enough to get the war buggy and Scorcher into place. Charlotte had picked Hold the Line. This had worked in my favour, as she can't ignore my advancing main host of boys and grots to achieve her mission requirements. The Ork Dreadnought and Kill Can will provide a bit of muscle to the main host, and the Mechanic, Smasher Gun, and my freshly painted Death Skulls will hopefully fend off any Space Marine Dreadnoughts or vehicles. The Blood Axe Commandos will deploy in the tall Imperial Stronghold building, which will give them a good field of view of Charlotte's side of the table, and hopefully survive long enough for a few decent shots from their missile launcher. With Charlotte deploying first, it enables me to place both my vehicle squadrons on the same flank as her captain. Gork and Mork are definitely looking out for me today. With a sudden yet precise blast, the landing thrusters engaged, decreasing the impact of the drop pods. Even before the bay doors had finished dropping, the Ultramarines had already deployed and were pushing forward to a clearing in the jungle. Captain Thorax signalled to his sergeants to take up a dispersed formation along the outskirts of an ancient ruined cathedral. An old Imperial stronghold tower loomed nearby. "We will hold the Xenos here," praised the Emperor. High above, the scanners aboard the orbiting strike cruiser Durum Potentia had picked up weak transmissions the Orks were amassing in this sector. They seemed to be masking their signal. The Ultramarines made their final checks, readying their weapons. Chaplain Maximus, wielding his Crozius Arcanium, calmed his fellow assault marines. "Ease yourselves, brothers. Battle will be on us soon enough." Captain Thorax walks through to his tactical squad. "Sergeant, split your squad and redeploy the missile launcher atop that Imperial tower. It will give us a better view of the enemy move." The transmission was cut off under a hail of bolt fire from the Imperial tower. "The greenskins are already here. Hold the line, brothers." With Will playing brilliant strategy and my kill zone plan being denied, I will need to maneuver quickly to get myself into a better position. The Dreadnought and their assault marines push forward around the left flank in an attempt to control that side of the battlefield. The tactical squad and the missile launcher go into overwatch in preparation for the Orks to push through the cathedral ruins. The assault marines led by Chaplain Maximus push forward down the centre of the battlefield, using the cathedral ruins as cover. The Ultramarine Captain Thorax and his accompanying tactical marines spot some Blood Axe commandos lurking at the top of the Imperial stronghold tower. They rapid fire their bolt guns, but are unable to hit them amongst the cover. The Razorback advances forward at slow speed. It spies the Ork warbikes advancing from behind the Imperial stronghold tower. It lets loose with its twin-linked las cannons, causing the warbike's engine to explode and killing the rider. The Whirlwind, with its advanced scanning system, seeks out the nearest visible Ork targets. It fires a deadly salvo of missiles from its multi-launcher, detonating deep in the Ork lines. 3 grots and 4 boys are instantly vaporized, but the warboss is able to dive for cover. That Whirlwind is going to be a serious thorn in my side, and its location is going to be very hard to dig out. With the Razorback preventing me from attacking the Whirlwind directly, I will need to act fast. Spurred on by the surprise Humi attack, the Orks surge forward. Both Goth mobs and the Gretchen run forward to gain ground. The Ork Dreadnought and the accompanying Smasher Gun freeze into overwatch to cover the advancing tide. With the Razorback now in clear view of the mechanic, he displaces 2 herds of Stotlings through the warp with his shock attack gun. They veer widely, of course, materializing harmlessly in the open. The Death Skulls follow suit and unleash all their heavy weapons at the Razorback, yet all their shots go wide. The Blood Axe Commandos join in the fire, scoring a direct hit with their crack missile, striking the vehicle's fuel tank and bursting it into flames, killing the crew. The explosion rips a giant hole in the nearby security fence line. The flaming wreckage of the warbike hurtles out of control, collides with some security fencing, destroying it in the process. The 2 warbike squadrons accelerate to combat speed and roar around the right flank, eager to search out the Ultramarine captain. The warbuggy spies 3 of the adjoining tactical marines and evaporates them with a shot from its multi-melter. The shot also evaporates the security fence line in front of the bikes, clearing their path. The line must be held. The 2 Ultramarine combat assault squads activate their jump packs and charge into the Ork line to push them back. The overwatched Ork Dreadnought cuts down one of the Ultramarines mid-flight with a spray from his heavy bolter. His las cannon narrowly misses the Ultramarines Dreadnought as it emerges from cover. The overwatched Ork Smasher Gun fires at it too, but to no avail. Thrown off by the narrow miss, the Ultramarine Dreadnought's multi-melter returns fire, but is out of range. The Stormbolter finds its mark, cutting down 3 grots. After its initial deadly barrage, the Whirlwind fires again, keen to eradicate the Death Skulls. The shot strikes home, but nothing. The missile strike is a dud and falls harmlessly. The Ultramarines were deadly in their hand-to-hand combat phase, with 5 grots and 2 boys being cut down compared to a single Assault Marine loss. It was now Will chose to play his second strategy card, Bombing Run. Seeing all the mayhem happening down below and keen to get in on the action, an Ork fighter bomber emerges from the clouds and drops its deadly payload on Captain Thorax and his tactical marines. The bombs missed the tactical marines, but hit the captain and set him ablaze. Setting the captain ablaze will give me the edge on the flank, but it's now or never to seize control of the center of the table. Warboss Bloodtooth bellows out a mighty roar and charges the chaplain. Spurred on by this mighty display of courage, the runt herd and all the remaining grots charge in too. On the left flank, the boy equipped with a flamer unleashes on the tech marine, but to no avail. The Blood Axe Commando missile launcher and the Smasher gun failed to hit the approaching Ultramarine dreadnought. The shock attack gun equipped mechanic, unable to get a clear shot, goes into overwatch. With the Ultramarines' flank quickly crumbling, the Ork bike squadrons push their advance, eager to score their mission objective. The Scorcher unleashes an almighty fireball, burning the 2 remaining tactical marine combat squad members to a crisp. The Ork buggy seeks out the partially concealed whirlwind and scores a lucky hit. The superheated shot cooks off the vehicle's ammunition storage, destroying the whirlwind and vaporizing the crew. The hand-to-hand combat phase proves to be deadly for both sides. On the left flank, 2 Assault Marines fall to just 1 Goff. In the center, the Assault Marines cut through 3 more grots and another Goff. The initial attack of the runt herd's grabber stick is unable to help him, and he falls too. Chaplain Maximus is vastly outnumbered. He manages to slay 3 of the attacking grots, but then is overwhelmed by Warboss Bloodtooth and suffers a wound from the Ork's power fist. Ouch. Losing the whirlwind was a big blow to being able to keep the bikes at bay, with the surviving tactical combat squad unable to find a target. I reposition them to back up the captain and push back against the approaching bikes and kill a can. If he doesn't take any more hits, he should be able to survive the battle. Unable to extinguish the flames though, he runs erratically towards the wreckage of the Razorback. The Ultramarine dreadnought strides forward and readies his multi-melter at the Ork dreadnought. Noticing this, the mechanic displaces 2 more snotling herds, which appear inside the Ultramarine dreadnought, killing the veteran marine. Enraged by being attacked by the flamer, the tech marine charges forward and slains the shooter with his power axe. Nearby, another Goff is sent sprawling by the remaining Assault Marine, but is then cut down too. Chaplain Maximus and his fellow Assault Marine combat squad pile in on Warboss Bloodtooth, overpowering him. Maximus swung a decisive blow with his Crozius Arcanum and felling the Warboss. The sight of their fallen Warboss causes the Smasher Gun's crew to break and cower behind their cover. If I can get enough shots in on the captain, I will have a chance of achieving my objective. I just need to keep the bikes out of sight of that repositioned missile launcher. The burning whirlwind wreckage will provide partial cover, but not enough. The Scorcher and the war buggy roar around to engage the Ultramarine captain head-on. "I like my humies well done," cried the Scorcher gunner, and gave the captain another blast. Despite already being on fire, it causes a wound. The war buggy, spurred on by this, cried out, "What he said," and fired the multi-melter. But however was faulty and erupts, destroying the machine and its crew. The explosion hits the Scorcher, damaging its controls. It will need to roll 4+ from now on to prevent itself from going out of control. In retribution for his fallen warboss, the mechanic displaces 2 snotling herds at Chaplain Maximus. The shot, however, goes wide, and the chaplain and his squad are safe. The Blood Axe Commandos fire a frag missile at 2 of the Assault Marines. One is slain, but the other fares better, and his power armor saves him from the frag explosion. The Ork Dreadnought unleashes its heavy bolter and last cannons at the Assault Marines, taking down another. Chaplain Maximus steadies the squad nerves, and they pass their break test. The Death Skulls, unable to see any viable targets, hunkered down into Overwatch. The close combat phase proves better for the Orks this time around, with the Tech Marine falling to the charge of the Goths. He went down swinging though, taking 2 of the boys with him. Despite the curses of the mechanic to get back into the fight, the Smasher crew fail their break test and remain cowering behind their cover. Things are starting to look grim on my backline. With the burning whirlwind and now war buggy blocking their view, the remaining tactical combat squad is unable to get a decent line of sight of the bikes to protect the captain. Unable to extinguish his flames, Captain Thorax continues to burn, but doesn't take further wounds. The dreadnought sarcophagus veers to the right as the dead marine entombed inside can no longer control the machine. It tumbles into a nearby space cactus. Chaplain Maximus and the 2 remaining Assault Marines activate their jump packs and charge the mechanic. The Overwatch Death Skulls open up fire, yet all their shots go wide or fail to wound. The Chaplain and fellow Marines cut through the mechanic with ease. Captain Thorax's chances look grim, but I do have one final card up my sleeve. Just my luck that the only thing that damaged the war buggy was the war buggy. However, an unexpected consequence was its burning wreckage now completely blocks the view of the remaining tactical combat squad protecting the final bikes. The Scorcher goes out of control and rams Captain Thorax, but due to some outstanding luck, Charlotte plays her save strategy card. The captain miraculously survives the attack, so the Scorcher gunner fires off one final fireball, engulfing the captain and killing him outright. Blood Axe commandos fire a frag missile at the remaining tactical combat squad, but the shot goes wide. Joint fire from the Ork Dreadnought and the Pain Boy cut down the last 2 Assault Marines, awarding me another victory point. And with that final casualty, Chaplain Maximus orders the remaining Ultramarines to fall back. The battle was over. In conclusion, when chatting to Charlotte post-game, she lamented how the odds were tilted in my favour from the start, which is fair enough. Brilliant strategy, along with the assassin and hold the line, and her having to deploy first, is a tough combination. She had to spread her forces thinly where Space Marines usually excel in tighter deployment. She regretted not repositioning the Whirlwind after losing the Razorback too. We both loved the Captain Thorax drama. He really felt like a cat with 9 lives, so I really did cheer when he finally went down despite the save strategy card. All up, it was a great fun game of Second Ed 40k. Thanks for watching.